Hi everybody, this is Alice, Bejeweled Hedgehog, and I thought I would share my UFOs with you, my unfinished objects. Several other people have talked about their UFOs. I know Beth in Texas is working her way through hers, and Juanita, she spins, is also doing hers. So I thought I would show, I don't know, my basket of embarrassment. My problem is I really do have a short attention span and I get frustrated easily. And because crocheting and crafting is my form of relaxation, it's my escape from obligations and things that I must do, I have a tendency to, if I don't like something, to just kind of push it away. But I really don't want to do that because I was actually thinking about my basket and I realized I have a lot of things I really would like to finish, and some things I just have to make a decision about. I am sorry about the glare reflection in my glasses. I don't really know what to do about that. It's coming from the computer. Oh well, I do apologize. I hope it doesn't bother you. So let's get started with my basket. Okay, I do have multiple works in progress. I don't count those as unfinished objects because I am working on all of them, if not one day, then the next day, but they all get finished up, relatively quickly. This is something that's teetering. It's like right on that line in between a work in progress and an unfinished object. I started it a day or so after Christmas because I got a new Stitch dictionary for Christmas, and I grabbed a beautiful ball of yarn from my stash, Simply Soft, and the color is Persimmon, and it is soft. And I worked on this stitch pattern long enough to say, ooh, I love it, ooh, goody, it's fun. And then I got interested in something else. So my goal is to put this clearly back in the work in progress and show it on Cast Off Tuesday. So I have this weekend. Okay. Oh, the basket, by the way, is not small. This is the basket. See, it even has little legs to hold all this stuff in. I'm going to set it down here on the floor to make it a little easier to go through. Okay, this is sort of a piece of a mitten. I saw other people making these mittens on YouTube, and I thought it would be fun to make a set of mittens to go with a hat and scarf set I was making for a friend. And normally I have very loose gauge and everything I make is a little on the big side. So I expected these mittens to be big and loose, but they weren't. They were tight on me, and I have I have fat little hands, but they're short, fat little hands. And the length on them was kind of short, so I knew they wouldn't fit my friend. So then I decided to make them for myself, but I was just kind of frustrated, because it was supposed to be a gift and it wasn't, so into the basket rather. Okay, this is the beginnings of an Angry Bird hat. I was making it for a friend with a big head. Then I realized I was making it way too big. There we go, camera. Way too big, and it needed to be modified. And then the friend wanted a different kind of hat anyway, so this went in the bag. So it's beautiful yarn. I'm just going to have to rip it out and decide what to do with it. Okay, this project here, this is very disappointing the way it's looking on the camera. The yarn on the camera looks blue. It is not. It is a vibrant teal. It is one of my favorite shades of teal. It is Red Heart soft yarn, and this is the sole of a slipper boot that my niece wanted. And, I picked the size that I could have sworn was right for her, and, then I made the sole, and it didn't, it's way too short. I don't know how that happened. So this needs to be ripped out and started over again, and that's really not that big of a deal. It's just when I get frustrated with something, I want to toss it aside. So my goal is not this week, but maybe the following week will be to finish these slippers, which are actually teal and not blue, because my niece really wants them. Okay, so that's another UFO. Okay, as the further down in the basket we go, the more ancient these UFOs become. This is a, oops, oh, little piece of yarn, a doily Afghan. This is really just the center of it, and the yarn is not this bluish pink. The camera is doing its own thing. The yarn, this yarn is a mill end of a yarn that's remarkably similar to Simply Soft, only it's kind of a heathery salmon. So I have no idea what the, what the brand would be if it were not a mill end, but it's beautiful, and I have like 2 bags of it, so I have enough to make the Afghan. It's just, I got excited about the idea of making a Afghan out of a throw out of a doily pattern, and at that point in time this particular niece said, "Oh, I really want one. I want one that's pink. Ooh, I love that color." And then as I started making it, she's like, "Oh yeah, Auntie, well, if I don't want it, can you use it?" And and then of course there was something else that she wanted, so this just kind of got put aside. Now here is a picture of what the pattern is going to look like. This is a picture of the actual doily, because it is a doily pattern, that I'm converting by using worsted weight yarn into an Afghan. And I am really, it's going to be very, very big. I'm really right there in the center. So this is something I do enjoy doing it. It's going to take a long time. It is interesting. It also requires a lot of concentration, because it is written literally in, step-by-step instructions. There's no charts to go with it, and I'm a big chart person. If I can look at a chart showing me how to do something, it just clicks in my brain so easily. And sometimes when I'm reading the written out instructions, it's like, playing a mystery game. What is it going to look like next? So this is kind of, it's the kind of thing that it takes all my attention, at least to get a couple, of the start of every row, to make sure that I'm doing it correctly, because I have already made a mistake on a row and discovered it several rows up and then have to rip back down. So I really do like this. It's not something I can work on all the time, but yeah, this is something I really do want to finish. This is another one of my got annoyed and frustrated and I'll have to do some ripping, so I just kind of set it down. This is a beautiful yarn. It's kind of showing up here. The colors are darker and a little bit richer. I think it was called Kaleidoscope, and it's Misty Alpaca hand-painted lace. There you can see the variegated colors. And my sister loves hats, so I got this great vintage doily book on eBay for $2, and I think it says 29 cents on it. I think it was probably, do they have a date in it? Yes, 1958. That is so cool, isn't it? So the doily that I am using is this one right here, Silver Surf. And it's also the one on the cover. And I was using the hook size that went with this yarn, but I don't know if you can tell. The idea is to make a tam, and so it's supposed to be kind of flat on the top, and then at some point I'll stop the doily pattern and then pull it down in. But already, I don't know if you can see all these little ruffles. It's almost like a little flower. It is not laying flat, and that frustrated me because I wondered, the bigger it gets, what kind of hat is this going to make here? So this has got to be ripped out and restarted, and that just frustrated me, or ripped out and given another project, because normally these doilies are made with thread, and this is actually a very stretchy lace weight yarn, and it may be that the stretch is somehow affecting my tension, so this just got put aside. And I need to rip it out, and then I need to maybe play around with the hook size a little bit, and if not, just maybe use this yarn for a different project. Okay, that's that UFO. This is actually something I really like, and to be honest with you, the only reason I hadn't worked on it was because I got bored with it and then shoved it down into the bottom, and then I just kind of forgot about it. This is a scarf in a yarn that I saw this summer called Red Heart Stardust. Let me get this up closer. It is kind of an orangey purpley, which is not coming out. You can see the sparkles. Ooh, you can see the sparkles on the camera, but you cannot see the vibrancy of the color. So when I finish it, I will take some photos and post it on Ravelry, and then hopefully you can see how pretty this yarn is. So it's an interesting pattern. It's shells and it's kind of a mesh all combined, and it's going to be a very long scarf, and then you sew the ends together and make an infinity cowl. And